Hello and welcome to the latest instalment of the Supporters Group podcast. I'm joined this afternoon by Kar and Graeme after a very successful Sunday in the capital. How are you both doing?
Right, good. Good weekend all round.
Good. There's no sunshine on Leith that's for yesterday in Hibs, that's for sure.
Very, very true. So before we get on to talking about yesterday's game, though, got some great news last week that the club announced that Joe Potter signed a contract extension to 2026. Absolutely brilliant news, Graeme.
Fantastic, especially at this point in the season when you're getting to the business end of the season. That's what you want. That will give us a wee boost. As we'll talk about the game, but that will give us a wee boost going into this business side. And it's fantastic because her and Jay have just worked wonders, and just hoping that maybe now Jay can sign on, and if she likes it as well, and what a what a team they could build. They're already started to build, but for the future, looks fantastic.
Gar, I don't imagine you disagree with any of that.
No, I'd imagine Jay will stay on as well as part of the backroom staff. I don't, unless she gets an offer somewhere and wants to go and do management on her own. But I imagine she's enjoying it here as well. But I mean, it's just fantastic news having Joe signed up. I'm assuming she was only on a year contract, that they've done that so kind of soon. But I'm happy to have her here, go and win as much as she can here, and then if another team wants her, pay us a bit of money, compensation, and she can go and have a great managerial career after she's won everything with us.
You would imagine her being so happy to sign a new contract so early. It's a sign that she's came in and enjoyed what she's seen and saw that all the promises she's been made have obviously came to fruition.
I would put a thing back to you guys as well. Do you think that with the players' contracts, we don't know many, but we know what Tess has won in the summer. Do you think that might help speed up the contract extension renewals for like players like Tess, who is up in the summer?
I mean, I think so. I think having Jo here and everything that she's already built and the way that she's come in and kind of tweaked everything and got the players playing really well under, I think a lot of them, I don't think they've need much encouragement, especially the likes of Tess and Nick and all the ones that love it here. But I think it'll definitely convince maybe the likes of Rachel Rowe and Rio, etc., that might be on short contracts to sign extensions and stay for a bit longer. So it definitely could be a pulling factor in getting players up in the summer as well if we need reinforcements to look what you can come and win, the joy of playing at Rangers, and should entice a few more players up the road.
Definitely think it'll sort of give the players a lot more security and belief in what's happening going forward. So if there is any talks about extending stays, I think you're right, Graeme. It'll definitely be a factor in it. But moving on to yesterday's game, a couple of changes in the lineup. So Vic Essen starting goal with Kathy Hill, Tess McDagg and Nick Dock as usual in the back three. In the middle are Lizzie Arnott and Brogan Hay came in. They play out wide. Chelsea and Liv McLaughlin in the centre. Rachel Rose playing her usual number 10. And we saw Mia McCauley start up front with Sarah Ewens. How did you feel about that team, Car?
Yeah, it was a bit odd, wasn't it? We were kind of discussing it before the game with the setup, and Rio and Jane are on the bench, and she's put Mia up top beside Sarah Ewens. It was a bit odd, but I think it was you, Alan, that said this is the last chance to go and tweak things before we get into the split, and it really is the business end, as Graham keeps saying, to go and win things now, and you can't experiment anymore. So it was interesting. We'll come on to the game. I don't think it really worked the first half, having me up top rather than out wide, but interesting to see her try new things, and Vic seems to be the cup keeper now, so it worked out not too bad, but we'll come on to the ins and outs of it in a wee minute.
What's your thoughts on the team that started, Graeme?
As Carl's alluded to as well, Vic wasn't a surprise with being the cup goalkeeper, but it was interesting the tweak up front as well because obviously you're that used to either Jane or Rio and Sarah. Obviously Kirsty's out just now, but I think as well Joe made a point pre-match, and she's absolutely spot on that you can't just go and do a carbon copy of the team for last week because Hibs have done their homework, and that's too easy for them. We need to you need and the same goes for them. Hibs couldn't do the exact same. It would just be you could work each other out quite easily. But we'll touch on as the game progressed because I think Car's on the money with what she was saying about it didn't work. But fair play for trying.
No, definitely, it was a chance to maybe try something different, and you have to try and keep the same opponent that you played last week guessing a wee bit. But it was also pleasing to see Libby Bance was back amongst the substitutes as well.
Yeah, massive to have her back, and I think that kind of the announcement we got a couple of weeks ago with where everyone was in their recovery and times getting back. It's nice to see that it's only been a couple of weeks she's back, so that's hopefully meaning that Rachel will be next, and then we'll roll into the next couple of months and have the rest back. Obviously, Kirsty McLean's a bit further away, but Libby, we'll come on to it, came on and did it incredibly well. Didn't look like she'd been out for the length of time she had been out because she just stepped back in, did exactly as she had been doing before she got injured. So great to see we've got her back, got reinforcements in. If we need to make a change, we've got other options there.
And Graeme, is in addition to Libby being back, with Kirsty Howitt's back training on grass again this week.
Absolutely brilliant, as Car was saying. It's good to see players coming back, especially, and sorry for keep saying this, but the business end of the season, this is when you want your players coming back, because it's all very well in the summer, like when we had all the injuries, that was fine because it was just the start of the season, but this is where you want all your big players up now, and a bigger squad to get us through to the finish line, whatever may come May.
Definitely. What did you make a start to the game, Kar? Because I thought we were maybe a bit slower to start than we were last week.
Yeah, we didn't look great. The intensity, the passing of the ball that we normally have just wasn't there. We just looked awful disjointed, I think's the word I want to use. I don't know if the players were just leggy from last week or maybe tired, or it's Hibs again. They thought maybe it'd be as easy as last week. I don't know, but it's just so scrappy. Passes weren't coming off. A few kind of hairy moments early on, and we just couldn't seem to get the ball down. But it picked up eventually, but it looked wrong. I didn't know what was going on. It just seemed like maybe it was going to be one of those games against Hibs where it was tight and we were struggling against them. But Hibs, to their credit, came out and played because they knew they had to, win the game to get further in the competition. It was really their last chance to try and get anything out of the season other than just being in the top six. So credit to them, they did what they needed to do, but we just didn't come out the way we should have come out and just couldn't get it going at all.
What did you think was behind that start, Graeme?
It's hard to say because I think we're all I think Carl actually summed it up perfectly. But the conditions were a bit windy as well this week compared to last week. I don't know, not nowhere near the conditions the wind in Aberdeen right enough, but I don't know if maybe the wind was a slight factor because I noticed when Hibs noticed it up when we were shooting up to the right. I think they were kind of more confident there because I think the wind was on their backs. What I could make out, I don't know. I don't know. I mean, it could be anything. We could be clutching at straws here, but I don't know. But weather conditions weren't exactly the best yesterday either.
No, I think it was noticeable in the first half that the ball was holding up in the air quite a bit when we were playing it forward. So, you might very well have a good point there. But eventually we did get a goal, but it wasn't exactly the most spectacular of Mia's goals this season.
No, it wasn't. And, Rangers have tweeted out Mia loves a goal at Meadowbank. It's a bit of a stretch for me because, I don't even know if she's getting the goal, to be honest, because it's deflected. But Brogan does great work. She just glides past the defenders. I think she had a really good game yesterday, just glides past them, lays the ball off for Mia, who hits it. It comes off the Hibs defender's leg and kind of rolls into the net. I think the goalie probably should have got them, but it doesn't really matter. It counts, so we'll take it. I'm sure Mia's claiming that goal as her own, but it's not one of our highlight reel goals, but we'll take it, and it's nice to just get off the marks, and it kind of settles everyone down a bit. Then we've got a goal, it's fine, let's just get into this, but we'll get on to what happens after.
Graeme, as Carl mentioned, that Mia's goal was deflected and it maybe wasn't the most stunning goal, but it was just encouraging that she's taking shots from outside the box early and she's got the rewards.
Absolutely, and if it has been counted as Mia's goal, we start that's her scored against Hibs and Hearts, both at their respective grounds this season. So okay, Hunks in the cup and obviously to yesterday, but it was a hard one to see where it looked as if the goal, as if the linesman, sorry, not the linesman, the referee was going to give either a goal kick or a corner the way, from where we were sitting, obviously in the stands. It was hard to see. I think they was just ready to go, wait, right, goal kick or corner. I don't know what you thought of that at that point in time.
Do you mean because it looked like it went out, like it didn't go into the
Aye,
net? Aye, it
yeah.
did look like it'd gone wide, and then all the players started celebrating, and we're like, "Oh, it's gone in." But watching the highlights or watching the go back on the Twitter or the YouTube channel, it's just a calamity from the goalie. She really should have dove for it or just kind of shuffled over a bit, and she would have saved it. But I think she thought it was going wide as well. But I mean, it counts, and Mia will take that because she likes a goal, not a wonder goal, but a goal counts.
I think you're right.
Goals
It
are
was a
goals.
wee bit of a delayed reaction. No, quite sure it went in. It was a wee bit like some of the goals we scored at Hampden. That delayed reaction from a view that we had. But I would like to have seen us build on that one goal lead after a less than convincing start. But our old Achilles heel, defending corners, came back. Kar.
Yeah, I mean, watching at the time, I thought Vic's got to do better there. It's an in-swing corner. The box is packed. She really should have just like punched it or something. But watching it back, it's just so congested. Hibs player just gets her head. I think it was Poppy Lawson. I'm not 100% sure. Gets head on it first. These things do happen, but we really just needed to switch on and just not let that happen. Just get the ball and get down the pitch. But we were kind of holding the ball up on our end a bit. Hibs were kind of stuffy, so we were struggling to get the ball out at times. These things happen. We thought, right, that's fine. They've got a goal. We'll just kick on now. But it just couldn't get the first half. We just couldn't get the foot on the ball and just keep the ball on the deck. It was getting awful up in the air all the time and just couldn't really do much with it.
What was your thoughts on the goal that we conceded, Graeme?
I, I agree with what Carr says. I think when you're sitting at in the stands, I thought that, if it was us with that in-swinging corner, in fairness to Hibs, it was a cracking corner, but we should have dealt with it a wee bit better. But I don't think Vic was to blame in that respect. I think it was just a congested area, because as the game went on, we'll talk about it, but Hibs were just going for it for the minute that whistle went. They were just relentless, and we couldn't really deal with that, because we're not used to teams doing that to us this season. It's usually the low block rather than teams coming for us. So I don't, but yeah, it's Achilles heel, as you said, Alan. You're absolutely spot on. It's corners are our weak spot this year. But I think if it was just one of the ones that was unfortunate. But if it was us that got the goal, we'd be saying it was a really good goal. Do you know what I mean? So I don't know how. It's just one of the ones, unfortunately. What do you think, Alan?
I thought overall we probably could have defended it better, but it'd be hard to pinpoint anybody, be it Vic or any other players. As Carl said, it was so congested in the box, and it was a terrific delivery. So sometimes you just have to say, not much you can do about that, and move on. And we did, because it didn't take too long before we went back ahead. A rare goal this season for Lizzie Arnott at the back post.
Yeah, I mean, great work from Rachel Rowe, who's picks up the ball on our half and just runs. And yesterday she didn't get her head up enough, but I thought for this goal she did. She could lifted her head, saw Mia at the byline, got it to Mia, who just, I don't know if she's aiming for Lizzie, but we'll say that she was, and she just kind of crosses it across it, lands to Lizzie, hits it first time on her left foot, and goes past the keeper, who again probably should have done better and saved it, but it doesn't matter because Lizzie put it in the back of the net and got a goal, which is exactly what you want from Lizzie, because she hasn't scored that many after coming back from her injury. So nice to see that she's got another goal, and obviously everyone was buzzing for her, and we thought, that's it, we'll kick on now, and we didn't.
No, but we didn't, Graeme, but good to see the wide players coming in and contribute with goals.
No, definitely, and there was Lizzie was creating a lot of space down that wing, but we just weren't giving the ball to her at all. For whatever reason, I don't know, but it's been like that with Mia in the last few weeks as well. She's been creating amazing spaces, but like nobody, like the Partick game, nobody's giving her the ball, and and if that's what you want your creative players like your wingers when they're doing things like that, give them the ball. Like Nick's brilliant at chipping the ball for the defence line right up top. Players like Nick could get there. But I get it was a congested. Hibs were just throwing everything in the bus at it. So maybe that was part of it. But there was times when you're thinking, just give the ball to Lizzie and she'll do some magic. But nothing ever really happened. But it's great to see Lizzie back on the score sheet, though, in all honesty.
Definitely, and some of space can be unconvincing because sometimes the the ball out to that space is just blocked off, and we can get so focused on the space and frustrated and not seeing that, and the pass is just not on sometimes. But Hibs came right back into it, Car, or what happened with the second goal?
I will say it was a very well worked team goal from Hibs, and I think their fans and players will be happy with it. But for me, from a Rangers point of view, we've got to do better in defending that. They just had all the space in the world to just pass it up, and she just gets past. I think it's Kathy. She gets past her, and then Vic maybe could have done better, but it's again not really her fault. The pass is just past her, and it's in the back of the net, and you're starting to wonder what do we need to do here to get a foothold in this game. But from a Hibs point of view, a great team goal, as much as I don't want to give them any credit, it was. If we'd scored that goal, you'd be buzzing about it and say that's a wonder goal from our point of view. But Hibs can play football, and it's almost annoying that they don't do that the rest of the season. They come out for cup games and play like that, but they don't do it the rest of the season and makes the league more competitive, which in my opinion is weird. I don't get it, but a well-worked goal for them, and we just need to then kick on. Well, we didn't have much time before the end of the half, but just one of those goals that the other team comes out to play and scores a good goal.
Was frustrating to be pegged back for a second time, Graham, going into half time, but looking back on the first half, was it good that we were going in level and just a chance to reset and come back out for a second half?
I think from a Rangers point of view, the break was perfect timing for us. But if you're a Hibs supporter, you don't want that. You get these games where you don't want the half time to come. And I think yesterday, if Hibs wouldn't have wanted that half time because they were in the ascendancy. And but actually, I think I remember sitting in the game thinking, yeah, we really need this half time. Go in, just reset ourselves. It's 2-2. Let's go back out there. The game still can be won. Hibs, I don't know. You know these kind of games where teams are on top and then they just crumble in the second half. That's what you're kind of hoping getting into the second half. I don't know. What did you think, Alan?
Definitely, or could see that Hibs had the advantage of win behind them, and Hibs put a lot into that first half. So you're definitely hoping they're going to tie on the second half, but absolutely that half-time whistle came at the right time for us and we had a chance to regroup. And I'm pretty sure Joe would have had some words to say to the team in the dressing room at half-time.
Yeah, I'm sure she did. She didn't look happy, I will say. And even after the game, she didn't look happy. Her and Donald were having a good old chat, and she looked raging despite how the game ended. So it's nice to see a manager that really does care that much. But obviously, she picked the team, and it didn't work. So second half, she makes changes, and it all clicks into gear, and we play the way that we know we can, if I could speak. So eventually it sorts itself out. But the whistle came a bit late, I'm assuming, because there was cramp. One of the players had cramp, so there was a couple added minutes on. We didn't know if he was ever going to blow his whistle because he kept looking at his watch and it didn't come, but eventually it did come, and we got a little break to regroup and go again in the second half.
We came out after a break in the second half and we saw Rio Hardy on at the start of the second half for Lizzie. So what did you make of that change immediately at the start of the second half, Graham?
That was a much needed change because I thought it was surprising that last week when Rio and Sarah were playing together, they formed a really good partnership. And surprised we didn't use on the first half, but I thought it was a really good choice because Sarah was doing all the work, but she wasn't getting the space to go in, and when you're a kind of semi-solo striker, it's a wee bit hard. It can be a hard, lonely shift up there on your own. So actually giving her a partner again up front uh, was a good decision, because that shows, not proves, that shows you that Jo is class, because she's not. That's one thing I admire about her. She's not afraid to make big, bold decisions. And if she sees something, if we're not doing well, she's not afraid to change it. Where a lot of managers would wait to, 70 minutes odds, and you see it in every game across Europe, and they'll hang in and I'll make a change in the 7 minute. Joe, it doesn't matter if it's the 10 minute, 20th minute. Joe make that change, and I think she saw an opportunity that maybe we could exploit in the second half, and I thought that's a genius move. Yeah, what did you think?
I mean, it definitely was needed. I think Mia works better out wide, so pushing her back out wide and Rio coming on. Sarah's the kind of player that she needs somebody else there to lay the ball off to. She does the hard work, her back to goal, getting the ball in those areas and laying it off her players. So it definitely works better having Rio in there to just lay the ball off to her and show, try and have a shot. But Mia definitely works better out wide. So, Jo tried something that didn't work and then she fixed it and then it worked the way that we know it can. So hopefully that just shows, like, going into the split, that put the players where they play best and we'll be all right. But Sarah, I will say Sarah did have a good game. She, was doing everything she needed to do. She did score, but, for me, I think she should have more goals looking at her stats from previous seasons, but she's doing the hard work for everyone else, which I think deserves a bit of credit.
Definitely. And I don't think Sarah's been helped by being in and out of the team for the first sort of 6 months. Well, a lot of injuries, and only now she's starting to get a run. So hopefully we see more of what we saw when she scored. But with somewhat of a scare just before Sarah's goal, what happened there, Graham?
I think like the Hibs, I can't remember who it was, but took a shot, and I think Vic put her arm out, didn't she? She just kind of just got it, and then the ball went away. But it was going to go. It was going to go 3-2 to Hibs. That was a stick on. But what you have to say, that was some save for Vic, because after that, that was what forced the ball down to get us the next goal. But which I don't know if you want to speak about it, but that got us into goal number 3. But at that point, Hibs could have easily scored that third, easily.
Yeah, I mean, Vic sticks her hand up, takes the sting out of the ball. Tess is behind her, who kind of shimmies the ball to Nick, who just absolutely launches it up the field. Sarah Ewens is away and running, gets the ball at her feet. I don't have a word. She just passes it past the keeper from, I don't know, I'm not good at measurements, but she's fairly far out. Keeper's got no chance because she's coming out towards her in the back of the net. And that's maybe, I think, her, what did you say, 7th goal of the season, something like that, which is, quite low. I thought it was less than that, to be honest, because I can't remember her scoring that many goals. But it's such a great team goal to go from nearly going behind again to then going ahead. It's tremendous work from everyone involved, and Vic just sticks her hand up to do exactly what she needs to do, and the captain bails us out by getting it up to Sarah, and a lovely goal.
Yeah, that's 7 goals Sarah's got this season, and right through the game we were in danger of playing ourselves into trouble, playing out for the back. Hibs had pressed really well, and that's where that chance for Hibs had almost came. The touch on the ball from Vic made such a difference, and getting the ball played in front of Sarah and letting her run at defences and getting a clinical strike off is where we'll see the best of Sarah Ewens, based on what we've seen so far this season. So I was getting more comfortable with. I thought taking the lead for a third time would have taken the sting out of Hibs, and eventually we did press on the advantage after making some more changes. It was good to see we pressed on and enjoyed the advantage, Graham, and didn't let Hibs back into it after this.
Yeah, because I think I can't remember who came up, but Jane Ross came on, didn't she, not long after that third goal? And then she goes down the wing, and then you could tell she was trying to turn, and the Hibs player just took her down. I mean, it's a clear penalty all day long, but I think the Hibs supporters next to us thought, otherwise. But I guess if you're in the opposition team, you're always going to say it's not a penalty. But when you're clear as day, it's a penalty, And Jane was working really well, and then obviously Rio steps up and cool as a cucumber and converts that penalty, make it 4-2 to make it a wee bit more comfortable. Although Hibs were still having a go, but still having that two goal cushion is exactly what we needed, because at 3-2, anything could happen in that game. That was one of the roller coaster. You're thinking at 3-2, oof, we need another goal just to kind of kill it, but we still had, I think, 20 minutes to go or something. I can't remember. Was it the 70th minute? I can't remember. But aye, 4-2, and you think this is what we need. But aye, well done, Rio.
And touching on the penalty, obviously home fans were very upset by that, and the referee had missed two very big penalty calls, one for each side, not long before this. We all thought Tess was maybe a wee bit fortunate with two hands on the back of the Hibs attacker, and then there was a blatant handball with two hands up by Hibs defender, and how the referee never saw that and gave that, is it beggars belief. But the penalty that we did get was clear as day a penalty, and there's just never a doubt in Rio Hardy steps up to take a penalty, is there?
No, there's certainly not. And I mean, as you say, the ref missed a couple of, we were at the game, watched the test one, and we said that 100% that's a foul, 100%. And then the other end, blatant handball, misses that. And I think by the time this one comes around, it's a little bit soft. She doesn't go right through the back of her, but she knocks Jane down, which, in the box is a penalty, but it's softer than the handball, in my opinion. So I think the ref kind of thought, let a couple go here. I have to give this. There's no chance I can't. And Rio steps up, and no mistake, and Rio's going to score all the penalties that she gets this season. She's just so good at it, no doubt in her mind. And I think that puts doubt into goalkeepers' heads. The Hibs goalie wasn't having a great game, I will say, so I don't know how much of a chance she normally has against penalties, but against Rio, I don't think any goalie in our league has much of a chance of getting a hand near a Rio Hardy penalty, which, cool as she likes, she does it again.
Definitely made a difference. And after that, we got late on to the game. I think it was 80 minutes, and then Libby Bance made a return, which, as we'd already mentioned, is great to see, Graeme.
100%, because it would be the same for a wee while, whereas Libby, post-Christmas. But then we got, obviously, Joe told us in an interview last week that she was ready to come back shortly, so it's even quicker than what even probably they thought, the medical staff. But I have to say, the medical staff this season at Rangers, men and women, it's been absolutely amazing. I don't know what's happened in the last year, but it's new people, I don't know. But certainly credit to the club, because they're getting major injuries, recovery very quicker than probably the average time. So, it's good that Libby's been part of that treatment, and hopefully, again, back to Libby's a key player for the rest of the season. So, and same way let Lisa give minutes here and there and just quickly build them up again, and then hopefully we can get 90 minutes and it becomes a regular, because there's a hell of a lot of games to come after the end of March. Once we're middle April onwards, it's Wednesday, Sunday all the way to the end, almost end of May. So we're going to need a lot of squad rotation. So it's good to get players back now ahead of the kind of mid-April time.
We're obviously heading on into injury time at this point and trying to make sure we keep the game safe and play the ball up in Hibs half. And eventually we put enough pressure on that Jane Ross got on the score sheet, Kar.
She did. It comes from a short corner, which always annoyed me, but it was nice that we actually took one, because we were having, normal in-swinging, out-swinger corners, and none of them were coming off for us. So, I never thought I'd be happy to see a short corner, but it worked. So sometimes it does work, I guess. Short corner. I don't know who hits the shot, but it's parried out from the goalkeeper, and Jane's there to just tap in the rebound. As a striker's instinct to be in the right place and tap home any loose balls that come into her way, and that's what Jane does. So another goal for her. Really as somebody that's instrumental in our team to getting us to win games, and it looks good that we've got not all, but most of the players back, and Libby powerhouse in the midfield, and beside Liv, Chelsea, etc., are kind of shoring it up while we've got Kirsty McLean out injured. So it's looking like the whole team's really playing together and knows, what they need to do. Also, the first half wasn't great. The second half we really kicked on and everybody did, played to their strengths, and it worked really well. So 93rd minute, thought that was it, and then we just keep going, don't we?
Absolutely, and we were obviously in Will's company, and he said 5-2 just didn't reflect the nature of the game, and if 5-2 didn't reflect the nature of the game, neither did 6-2, Graeme, but we'll take it.
No, exactly. And I even, like Jo said in our post-match, that she didn't feel it was a 6-2 game either. I don't think any of us did, because you're thinking, was it 20 minutes previous it was 2-2? I don't think anybody in the stadium or TV audience had 6-2 as the final score, did they? I think we're all just sitting here thinking, wow, that's what just happened. That's just amazing. But I think that goes back to the start of the season when Joe's been building that steely determination, and it's just part of their DNA where they'll go a goal down and they'll just not give up. And it's great to see. A lot of teams would, when they get 4-2, sit back, shut the shutters and all that. But I love the fact that we just keep going and going and going, and then even after 5, you think, well, the game's won at that point, as you say, in the injury time. Then we get number 6. So credit to the team, massive credit to the team, and a cracking goal to finish it off as well.
Yeah, it was. I'm sorry, let it go.
No, I was just going to say, Kar, the 6th goal was just a bit of gloss on it, but it's great to see Rio Hardy with 2 goals and back on the goal trail.
It was another assist for Rachel Rowe as well, who's a tremendous free kick from her. You'll have been happy because Rio's at the back post header, exactly where you need to be, round it off. But 6-2 really did flatter us. Like, we did not deserve a 6-2 from the first half. We didn't deserve that result at all, but we got it, and that's what matters. We did everything we needed to do in the second half to go and get the result, and I'm sure they'll analyse everything that happened, and Joe will go through them, this week with such a big game coming up on Sunday, and sort them out, and we'll be all right going into Sunday. But you can't be mad at that. Into the next round is all that you want with these games. It doesn't really matter how we get there as long as we get there, and we did. So can't be too mad about it.
No, absolutely, and not counting the Glasgow Cup, that's 28 goals for this season for Rio Hardy, so a phenomenal return. But I think the way the game's ended is testament to what Joe and Jay have pressed into the team, that they don't stop right to the end. She wants more. She wants the team pressing right to the full-time whistle, and we've done that yesterday, and that's resulted in not just scraping by 3-2 or maybe 4-2, but we've added those goals in injury time even when the game was essentially done. So it's just more evidence of the hard work that's going on through the season, Graeme, coming to fruition.
That's it, and I think Joe said many a time in interviews that they're ahead of where she expected to be, because obviously her and Jay must have had a plan when they came in, and they wanted to be by, say, week 10, be here and that. But I think everybody's just bought in for week 1, and they're a wee bit ahead of where they are. So it's credit. I think it's just everybody, management, players, backroom team, everybody is playing a role with this. It's not just individual players. It's everybody is working as a team, as a unit, and it's great, and it's playing. And now this is where we're coming in, like starting as post split now, where we'll need to have that mentality, or mentality monsters. I think Joe used the term, and that'll come into play. Start when you kind of start any higher than Celtic, and then obviously I think we've got Hibs and then Glasgow City, so it's in the league wise before obviously the cup final. So it's just every game we just need to treat it like a cup final from this point on, right up to the May, the 19th of May, and hopefully we've got a wee final in the 26th, but that's not certain yet. So from now to the 19th of May, just keep going.
So, Kar, who would be your pick as player of the match from yesterday's game?
I really have struggled with this. Like, normally there's a clear-cut, obvious answer to this question. I'm really struggling with it this week. Like, everybody chipped in and, did what they needed to do in the second half mainly, but I really am torn. I don't know. Like Rachel Rowe had a really good game. Rio got 2 goals. Jane scored. Sarah Ewan's goal was a lovely worked goal. Nick with the assist. It was just all round a good performance. But I'll go the easy option and go with Rio. 2 goals. You know, came on, did what she needed to do, and I'll go with Rio.
What about yourself, Graeme?
I've been struggling with this as well. Kind of got down to 3. Kind of thought maybe Liv, McLaughlin, Tess, or Kathy. But I think I'm kind of torn between Tess and Kathy at the moment. But I think probably Kathy because she bailed us out a few times in that game. And again, and I thought for a moment she was going to hit the post again with her body, and I thought, oh, here, oh, it's a shame. But no, I'd say Kathy because she's, I don't know, she's made of steel or something. She's just amazing. But I'd say Kathy.
Yeah, there's no doubt Kathy will put her body on the line, you know, to try and stop anything going in. And she almost scored an absolute wonder goal, you know, for the right wing, which she was honest enough to admit was intended as a cross. But good shout with talking about Liv McLaughlin's performance. You know, I thought she had a good game, but I'll probably lean towards Rachel Rowe driving on as player of the match. But like you both talked about, it wasn't an easy choice. It was nothing obvious about anybody standing head and shoulders above anybody else. It was collectively a very good team effort to get over a line against a very tough test in Hibs. But we know the draw is going to be held today for the semi-finals. It'll be drawn at half-time in the Morton Hearts Scottish Cup game. So we'll know who we're facing about maybe 20 to 9 tonight. Interesting that yesterday in all 4 of the quarterfinals, it was away teams that came out on top. Spartans are on the draw, 5-0 winners at Livingston. Hearts 1-0 winners at Partick, and Celtic won 6-0 at Montrose. So, Graeme, you get any preferences who we get drawn against for our visit to Hampden at the end of April?
I think I know it's so cliche, but you need to you just take who you get, you know. But I just get a hunch, you know, maybe a Rangers Hearts final, hopefully if we get there. But I don't know. I think you'd just be happy to take anybody at this stage, just be in the semi final. Because at one point yesterday we're thinking, oh no, you know, when it was maybe 3-2 to Hibs potentially. So just to get in the draw, anybody at this stage. But I've heard a few people around about were saying get Celtic and get them out of the way, you know. But I don't know how you feel about that.
I genuinely don't think it matters. I genuinely think we'll steamroll, well, not steamroll, but we'll get past anybody that we get in the semi-final. But, I mean, I'd take Celtic just so the final's a little bit easier and less stressful than it was last year, because I don't want to go through that again. That was horrendous for my heart and my blood pressure. But we seem to, you know, we've already got past them in a semi-final. Obviously, this one's at Hampden, so it's a little bit different. But I don't, knowing the way the draw works, I'm saying it's rigged or anything, there'll be 2 the Edinburgh teams against each other and then the 2 Glasgow teams against each other, unless they really want a Glasgow final. But you never know, stranger things have happened in the Cup. But I'd take Celtic, to be honest, right now, just get past them and then get to the final and have another day out.
Yeah, I'd have to agree with that. But I think we've covered most of what we need to cover. The last thing we need to move on to is the big game next week. We're away at Airdrie against Celtic. Kick-off time has escaped me.
10 past 4.
10 past 4. So anybody looking to go, the tickets are on sale via Airdrie's website. They're the host club, so obviously that's where you'll get your tickets. Just purchase them. I think they're £8.
Yeah.
10.
Oh, the 10?
They bumped them up to 10. Yeah.
No, I didn't even notice when I bought mine.
No, I was too busy making sure I bought that ticket to actually notice how much I was paying. So it'd be good to see as many as we can get over there and supporting the team. It's a massive game and could potentially put us 7 points clear of Celtic if we win that game before we head into cup final the following week. So, any predictions for next week, Kar?
Do you know, a draw wouldn't be the worst result for us, but I don't want a draw. I want us to go and absolutely steamroll them because we've got far better players than them. Tactically, we're set up better, and Joe's got them drilled to such a point that I genuinely believe at some point we're going to absolutely run over the top of them and give them a doing. I don't know if that's this week, but I'm hopeful that it is. So I'll go a 3-0. I'm going to say Kathy's going to score the first goal.
Can you top that, Graeme?
Just what you're saying about the 7 points. If we win, and Glasgow City win, Glasgow City obviously go second. But if we draw as well, if we draw, Glasgow City will go 2 behind us. So we'll still be 4 ahead of Celtic. But if we draw, we'll be 2 ahead of City. So aye, it is kind of must-win game now. You know, we're getting to those type of scenarios. But then the thing is, because Glasgow City, they're on a roll and they've cut the gap for 8 points, you know, down to 4. So, you know, we really need to win this, you know, for ourselves, first and foremost. It's the thing's in our hands. But obviously, Glasgow City are now starting to chase us. They're the ones that we need to worry about now, no Celtic. But so I'll say, give Celtic a goal start as they always do. Might as well say here, might as well start at 1-0 and we'll win 2-1. What about
I
yourself?
thought you were going to actually avoid a score prediction, Graeme. Well, I'll not be surprised if we give them a goal start either. I certainly hope we keep a clean sheet. You know, it'd be nice for a change, but I'll go 3-1. Rio will be starting again, and she'll score a first goal. And just to make it a better day, I'm going to predict that Hearts are going to beat Glasgow City 2-1 next week as well.
Stranger things have happened. You never know. The league's mysterious that way. Hearts are really well set up, so you never know, do you? And Megan Bell might come and help us get a wee goal against Glasgow City and, you know, do what she needs to do because she couldn't play at the weekend, obviously being cup tied. So, you know, you never know. We can hope. I forgot about Glasgow City, to be honest. That's a horrible thing to say, but I genuinely did because it's been us and Celtic at the top 2 for so long that I forgot that they'd be chasing and getting kind of close. So when Graeme said that, my heart sank a little bit because I forgot about that.
It's still in our hands, but we have
absolutely
still
is.
control. You know,
Won't be a problem.
nah. I hope you're right, Alan. That would be brilliant.
It would set us up absolutely brilliant for the Sky Sports Cup final the following week. But last thing to point out really is that the score predictor is back and so we're in league action. So that's on the Facebook group. Anybody wants to take part, just read up on it and join in. But anything else from you, Kar?
Don't think so. Hope everyone has a nice week and go into Sunday all happy and enjoying ourselves.
Yourself, Graeme?
Just to let everybody know, next week the Cup final blog will go live. So thank you to everybody with the contributions that you have all made. So it's all ready to go and it'll go live at some point next week and we build up to the big final for us all to look forward to. And hope you all have a fantastic week ahead.
On that note, I'll say thanks to Kar and Graeme for joining me, and Laura will be back in our usual spot next week.
Well, thanks, Alan.
Thanks, Alan.
Speak to you soon.